Stuff at this stage is ridiculous.
Lionel Messi has shaken hands with paradise.
Well, man, this is unbelievable. 3 Premier League teams have made it to the finals of all the European competition. I mean, this is the first in history that something like this has ever happened. That 3 teams from a particular league made it to the finals of all the European Championship. Like, what I mean is that the UEFA Conference League, the Europa League, and also the UEFA Champions League. 3 teams from the Premier League have made it. And come to think of it, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of pundits are beginning to say this is to show you that the level of the Premier League is way above the top 5 leagues in Europe. And then when you look at it, there is an iota of truth in that statement, because we see Arsenal en route to the finals. Arsenal have been playing so remarkable. I mean, Arsenal are unbeaten in the Champions League so far, and right now Arsenal in the final, and they'll be playing against PSG. This other team, on the other hand, Aston Villa, on the other hand, made it to the finals of the Europa League, and Crystal Palace, on the other hand, defeated Shakhtar Donetsk en route to the final of the UEFA Conference League. And this is to show you that, you know, the Premier League has indeed taken a very huge leap. Because last season, we saw how Manchester United and Tottenham, they went on to the Europa League finals. We also saw how Chelsea went to the UEFA Conference League final against Betis. Although the only English team that didn't make it to the Champions League final were Arsenal. They were defeated by PSG in the semi-finals. I mean, it would have been a back-to-back 3 teams from England making it to the finals. And this is something that the English Premier League have, you know, kind of evolved and left the other teams behind. But then again, we have to look at some factors. Looking at these factors, you have to understand that really these Premier League teams, they are a step above other teams when it comes to spending, when it comes to gross spending. In the last 5 years, the Premier League has spent over 10.7 billion euros on player signing, whereas La Liga teams have spent us a meager sum of 2.2 billion euros. Look at the difference, a difference of almost 8 billion euros. You can see that the Premier League, they have the facility, they have the money to buy players of any caliber. Imagine a team like Nottingham Forest spending between 400 to 600 million euros in a transfer window. We look at what Liverpool spent just in this current transfer window. The money that the Premier League teams they spend are what is giving them this result. They don't just even spend the money on players; they use that money to also acquire world-class manager. Now take a look at the coaches that have been in the Premier League in the last 5 years. Take a look at the coaches. We've seen the likes of Guardiola, Unai Emery, Jose Mourinho, Jurgen Klopp. These are top managers, Carlo Ancelotti. These are top managers that have been in the Premier League, giving this Premier League a major boost. These players in the Premier League, they have adapted to the philosophy of these great managers. Pep Guardiola, don't get me wrong, Pep Guardiola also coached in La Liga, but how many years did he spend? From 2008 to 2012, he only spent 4 seasons. Jose Mourinho spent only 3 seasons in La Liga, and they left. But currently, Guardiola has spent almost 9 seasons by July to make it his 10th year in the Premier League, and he has not even gone back. But when he was in Barcelona, after 4 years, he went on a 1-year sabbatical. In Bayern Munich, in Germany, he only spent 3 years. But this man, we are talking about the most successful manager in the history of football, Pep Guardiola. He has spent 10 years in Man City, and in these 10 years he has won 18 trophies. How do you keep this kind of talent in the Premier League and you don't expect the Premier League to evolve more than the other leagues? They have the money, the way they spend the money. I mean, in 2025 season alone, they spent more than 3.56 billion in 2025 season, whereas in the La Liga team only spent 683 million euros. So you see that these are the difference in spending power. The La Liga, they have, I think, a financial cap. You can't spend more than such. You can't spend more than a stipulated amount. But the Premier League, I don't think they have that kind of embargo, transfer embargo. And we saw in Barcelona. Barcelona were not able to sign players for almost 2 seasons. After the departure of Messi, Barcelona started, negotiating with players to reduce salaries and all that. Barcelona had to go to the academies to start bringing players like Lamine Yamal, Marc Bernal, Kubasi, Pedri, Gavi, and the rest. But teams like Man City were buying players, Arsenal were buying players, Tottenham were buying players, Aston Villa, come on. the only team in La Liga that has that financial muscle to compete with Premier League is only Real Madrid. But in recent time, Real Madrid have not spent that much money. We see Kylian Mbappe coming to Real Madrid on free transfer. We see Trent Alexander-Arnold coming free transfer. So you see, Real Madrid, they are kind of frugal in spending. You understand? But then again, the only thing I would say that the Premier League has been able to achieve success in this period is money. Without money, Premier League is trash. Without the money, the Premier League cannot even compete with La Liga, because we see from when Real Madrid they did the 3 consecutive UEFA Champions League title win, they didn't spend that much money. They relied on the talent. Cristiano Ronaldo was there, Karim Benzema, Bale was there. You know, they did it. But the Premier League, even with their money, they still face opposition from other teams. So tell me what you think. Do you think that this bumper money, the infusion of money to push the Premier League has been one of the deciding factors for their success in recent years? Or do you think that the Premier League is just a level up above the rest of, you know, the top teams, top league in Europe? Tell me what you think in the comment section. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite channel, Champfooty. Thank you very much.